All right, welcome back to Solforge World Championship 2023 at Gen Con 2023. We are the Shuffle Bus, and we're bringing you round two action. Back on screen again for this. We're going to just follow along with Sam here and Cardboard Newt. He is on your left. We just covered his deck in round one. But obviously, as long as he continues to win and stay at the top tables, he'll be here on stream for you to watch.
I anticipating seeing him on stream quite a bit today.
He is paired up against who are we paired against again now?
Steve Berger.
Steve Berger, okay.
Not a member of the community that I am acquainted with, but obviously when it's round one, it has a red-purple here.
Steve's red-purple deck is, you've got it in front of you here.
Yep. So it's a 6-spell red with a chaining glider. That's kind of neat. And a sentinel. And a lightning tamer. It's got lots of spell synergy there. And then Darkheart Sorcerer, obviously. Spite Maiden, Shambler.
Looks like he's running a Korok. Is that correct? Looks like he's got Korok on the top here, so I'm making the assumption we're starting with Korok abilities.
I don't know which of these. He has Korok and Circe. I'm not sure which one.
He's got Korok on the top of the screen here, so I'm assuming he doesn't make a change here before we.
So the Korok has Cycle 2 Lightning Speed.
Okay.
+2 to your guys on aggressive. Flame Strike at Cycle 3, deal 8, and Whirlwind at Cycle 4.
Okay.
I mean, to me, this Korok seems just kind of mediocre. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Right.
Circe has Life Drain, Soul Siphon at Cycle 2, that's not great, and Army Commander at 4. So maybe the Korok's better. I mean, the cards in this deck look great, right?
Yes. I think like
Chaining, Lightning Tamer, and Reckless in a 6-spell red, that's a hell of a half.
Right. And the 6-spell red matters. Like this is really a burn deck at its core with Conflagrate and Flame Jet and Staff of Varus, Burnout. Like it is Solforge version of a red deck burn.
Right, and it has the Darkheart and the Shambler. So,
and we're getting started here with round two. Time was just called to start the round. Looks like the Forge goes to. It's really hard to tell with some of these alternate art Forge cards which ones are like on Forge, but I do believe that.
I think that Sam is on Forge. I think that the one that's close to us is the
off Forge.
Well,
I know the Fuse
Covenant
Fest one
promo from.
This is the Fuse Fest one is actually the one Sam's using.
Oh.
Because I have that one.
Okay, I believe you. I don't know. We'll figure it out as soon as they play a card, probably.
Yeah.
So he's going to play Darkheart Sorcerer, and then I'm not going to know because it is Defender.
yeah, it'll get you that way. For sure. Yeah, so we just see. I can't tell what card that is off the player. That's the Lightning Tamer?
It must be the Lightning Tamer because he's playing a Spell Sprite.
Yep.
And he must be on Forge because he's in the front row.
Right. Spell Sprite here is the World Championship promo Spell Sprite.
Here's the
Runescarred Pit.
Runescarred Pit.
The 6/6.
Runescarred Pit pretty safe here. It's kind of dicey sometimes to like play into the lane with a Spell Sprite, and that's essentially what Lightning Tamer is as well.
Correct.
But 6 is a big enough back end that it's not that he can't play 2 spells and trade, but he essentially has to have the Flame Jet for that to happen.
And we saw Lightning. We saw the Runescarred Pit for Sam pay off in round one, just in terms of tempo.
A 6/6 in round one is busted.
Right.
Like,
so here is a Conflagrate. These are both, I believe, only the Tamer is a mage. So.
Right, but the important thing is that it dealt 3.
Right.
Because that way now the Tamer will trade with the.
It also deals 3 directly to Sam.
Yeah.
So Steve getting in a little bit of damage, drawing first blood here in turn 1 of cycle 1.
Normally you don't want to trade your first 2 cards for your opponent's first card, but because the Lightning Tamer made the Spell Sprite, he's getting a little extra value here.
Right.
So,
and obviously,
that's so big.
The
commanding
demon
adjective on the demon there to save the Runescarred Pit zombie. As well as catch the Spell Sprite. That's a big play.
That's huge. Huge play. Getting massive advantage over that Lightning Tamer.
it just keeps the pressure on, right? Because like all of a sudden, he's got like some random little butt guys now.
Drake Mongosaur and Uranti Elementalist in his hand, so we won't see those in Cycle 1.
Not playing the Uranti is a little tough.
It is a difficult, but he
like
didn't
a
have
card
a
you
spell
really want
for it,
leveled
really,
up.
right? Like, I guess he could have played could he play the Uranti as a second turn cycle and got
if
the
he had played
pit?
Demon or something first, because the level 1 you have to replace to play the spell.
Right,
so he could have replaced an X random creature and played Runescarred off of the Elementalist, but that really telegraphs your turn. He would not have been able to like sneak the commanding thing here.
So here's Darkheart.
Yeah,
Will we see the Rumble Spark set up here? If we do, I mean, Nathus will be off to the races on this match really quickly here. Turn 2 of Cycle 1. Darkheart being such a powerful creature to deal with in Cycle 1.
It's so good when you already have a board presence, because it by itself is like kind of awkward to deal with. Oh man,
Darkheart's here.
And Steve just says like, I think my Darkheart's better, so let's play this game.
That's a bold statement, knowing what we know about the Rumble Spark and the fact that Nathus has
they operate very differently in these decks, right? So the Darkheart in Sam's deck is
big flame jet here,
the engine for the Nova, which we see.
Yep.
So with no Nova on the board, Sam's Darkheart is much worse than Steve's, because Steve has so many more spells and so many burn spells, right?
So we do see so what'll happen here for those folks that don't understand, the Rumble Spark embodiment or the energy will play into the Darkheart lane, which is considered a spell, trigger and make an embodiment in the open lane, and Sam is off to the races here with a full board already, including the Rumble Spark. We're really watching to see now, can this burn deck essentially outrace this presence?
Yeah, the race, I mean, he needs to be playing his like chaining guy now. Like, I think he needs an extra card this turn to really.
Yeah, one of those outs may be a burnout potentially, but
he needs to play like Spite Maiden or Chaining Glider into a removal spell on one of these guys.
Right. So this might be the first time Steve has seen Rumble Spark.
Yeah, I think they're discussing the interaction,
how it works, and obviously the first time you face down a Rumble Spark, it can feel a little tough, right? Like
the card is overly complicated. Like, it has a lot of words on it, and specifically the interaction with Darkheart Sorcerer is pretty crazy.
So we do see a turnabout. Is that what that was?
Yep.
So a turnabout, fighting off a couple of those threats, whittling the board down.
Just make 2 level 1s battle each other. Well, choose a level 1 and make it battle the guy next to it. In this case, they're level 1s.
Turnabout's a good card.
There's a nice little 2-for-1 there.
We do see Steve drop to 36. I don't think this is going to be a long game for either of these players. We don't have that life gain element we saw in the last round.
Steve's deck definitely doesn't want the game to go long.
No.
Like, his deck is obviously built to win quickly.
So Steve back on Forge here for the end of Cycle 1.
I mean, this is a hell of a draw for... I mean, obviously, Sam's deck is very, very good. But this is a hell of a draw. Like, when you play turn 2, Cycle 1, turn 2, you have Nova Darkheart already.
So there's not a great way for Steve, I think, to break this Nova Darkheart. I mean, I think it's gonna linger. You can take the Darkheart away and reduce the amount of time you're.
You can definitely race it. Like the thing about Darkheart is it is a big threat, and if Sam plays a bunch of spells this game, it will attack for large amounts of damage.
Right.
But the thing that Darkheart Rumble really does is like provide this weird engine of inevitability, and it's not as fast as the strict burn decks. So Steve can potentially go under it. he currently does not have a significant life advantage, but
This is Staff of Eris here on the dark card. Is that what that is? No, what is that? That's the
Lightning Brand.
Lightning Brand? Yeah.
So this is, if you have a mage and play for free, you make a spell sprite. That's a good start.
Yep. Getting some burn.
Like, get your little burn in off the Dark Heart, get your spell sprite out. It's a free card.
Yep. Now make your real play. I mean, if he's got a
That's
burnout
probably
here,
also a spell because he played the spell sprite first.
you would think so. So you think, like, burnout's another card here that'd be pretty decent, but we do see, this is the disengagement from him.
Yeah. And then now he may sack the spell sprite to play another level 1 card for free.
Yep.
So he's just going.
chaining.
He's just
chaining
going
here,
off
right?
here.
Like, yeah, he's definitely trying to execute the race here.
This is what the deck is meant to do. So we'll see how many cards he gets to play right now.
Looks like he has a Spite Maiden in hand as well.
He's incentivized. He's incentivized to do it now too.
Yeah.
Because he wants to do his big chain while the Dark Art's in play, and potentially Sam would have
Correct.
a removal spell.
So there
That's
is
a creeper.
That's a creeper.
It's a combat creeper, so just generic creeper. And
So
Sam gets to choose to kill one of his creatures or take 5.
Right. He's going to kill the embodiment, which will just bring it right back.
Yeah.
Yep. Creeper is not a great answer to the.
Yeah, but he I mean, he may have nothing else, right? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that, right? Like,
I mean, it. I wonder if that's. I'm trying to think if that's actively bad or not, because it was a 4-point life swing in Sam's favor, but you get a 4/6. Is like the trade he just made.
right.
So he's just leveling up his cards here, since he played so many. I mean, that was a sweet turn. The creeper was a little, like...
I thought
it's
that was a Spite
underwhelming.
Maiden in his hand, but
It's underwhelming because he has the Rumble, but that's what Rumble does, right? It makes the game play weird sometimes.
right. So here's
So
a disintegrate on the creeper.
On the creeper.
That will
And-
trigger the Dark Heart
And it'll trigger the Rumble.
and trigger Rumble and take him to an 8/8.
Why does Rumble get +4?
I don't know.
Like,
That's a great question.
like I know that there's obviously cards in the game that get pumped from when you play spells.
Right.
But like, it's like somewhere in between a level 1 and a level 2 card. Like, it has a
Right.
gold border because that's just how the card is, but you essentially get it in play, level 1 or level 2 time.
Here's your
And just gets a
Crusher,
big
Ice
number.
Crusher,
This is the chaining one.
Chaining Crusher, yeah.
So we'll see if what
I'm
Sam
sure we're
has
going to
to
get a
do.
spell. Yeah, there's a Varna's pack.
Oh my god, the value. Think of the Dark Heart triggers,
Oh, yeah.
because he gets a Dark Heart trigger off
2
the
Dark Heart triggers from this.
off the pact there, and a Dark Heart trigger off the
Yep.
Rumble. Unfortunately, this I don't know, maybe not unfortunately, but it resets the Rumble to a 4 power.
It was already reset from the creeper.
Well, then he played Disintegrate, so it was an 8. It was an 8/8, and then he
Yeah,
did
that's
this,
true.
and now it's a
4/8
4/8 again. But the damage was done, right? Like, he
Right.
did 4 damage.
There's
to
the
Steve.
ossuary mech. So Steve is attempting to push back here, getting a free upgrade card.
Yeah, Ossuary Mech is a card that like that was a very good Ossuary Mech
Right.
because it traded with something.
Right.
Ossuary Mech, to me, most of the time, unless you get it in a specific situation like this where you kind of have a leftover guy on your opponent's side, it's just not very good because it's so small.
Yep. Yeah, I think.
But the exchange that just happened was very good for Steve. The
Yeah.
trade a 7/1 for a 4/4 and
Correct.
get an upgrade.
Nathan's still pretty hard in the driver's seat. We talked about this in the last match where he was definitely ahead for most of the game. Oh, it's not Nathan. Yeah. Sorry, Sam. I keep.
It's Cardboard Newt.
Yeah. Sam, right? Sam's his name.
Sam Lang, Cardboard Newt. Check him out on YouTube. He's
Check
got
him
some
out on
good-
YouTube.
I'm
Cardboard
serious.
Newt. Yeah,
Cardboard
yeah.
Newt. He's got some good
Yeah, he
content.
does.
He was at Indy a couple months ago. That was where I met him. Really nice guy.
Yeah.
He-
I haven't met him yet. This is the first time.
Yeah. Well, you're unlikable. So
I know, that's true.
Gotta lead with the face, not the.
That's right. That's right.
So just shuffling up, getting ready for cycle 2 here. We will have the spell sprites unlocked for Sam Sunder, and the I think the give aggressive is Steve's. It's lightning speed. Give your creatures +2 attack. This turn they get aggressive.
Yep. So we're starting cycle 2, turn 1. On Forge is Cardboard Newt, Sam. And we are ready to...
If I had cycle 2 lightning speed on my Korok, this is where I would want to be, right? Like, I mean, not necessarily this board state because he's a little bit behind, but like you want to be off Forge at the beginning of the cycle. You have lightning speed, so you have 2 opportunities to get the big aggressive swing.
Drop the Rageborn Eruptor on there.
Yep, that one is the plus attack for how many Exalts are in play. Which right now is just one.
Just one, right.
But a 5/6 is like a very reasonable guy for a level 1 card.
Yep.
And it's just a really safe play. It doesn't grow. Like it's a deploy trigger.
Right.
So it checks when it deploys. So if more Exalts come into play, it won't get bigger, but the next levels of it will.
Steve's still facing down that empty board. We saw that earlier.
Right, this is similar to what we saw in round 1, where because of the way that Sam's deck accrues value, he ends up a few cards up kind of at the end of every turn.
Well, and he has the ultimate value engine still online, obviously.
Right, and this game the Rumble didn't get replaced right away.
We watched
I don't think
3 Rumble replacements happen ad nauseum for Sam.
I don't think that that Steve's deck has a way to permanently kill the Rumble. Just have to race it and hope.
Yeah, I think that's true. Looking at level 2 Dark Art here.
Okay. Yeah, level 2 Dark Art into the lane with the 2/3 is pretty good because you force like Dark Art doesn't care about a 2/3 at all because it's such a. I don't know why it's statted that way. That card's very strange.
It's a strong
It's
card.
like really awkward to kill sometimes.
It's hard to kill.
Like
but
obviously it's hard to kill with the direct damage spells just because the number is big, but it having Defender protects it a lot of the time.
So we do see like one answer that exists is in blue, which we haven't seen blue on stream yet, but Sonic Burst is a fantastic
a lot
card.
of the like kill a small power guy.
Yep.
Cards.
So this is the mindless zombie off of Gaslight Renewal.
Yep.
So you get a 3/3 here. A little bit of life for Sam just because of the Dark Art, and then the ping trigger. Watching Steve get sort of systematically whittled down by this Dark Art. We do see he's debating a level 2 Lightning Tamer. I think that's the kind of card you need in order to get back into this thing. But
you have to have a card that is like a nice value card like that, but then you have to have the like chain of plays after it as well, right? So he gets to play as Lightning Tamer here, which is a good card, and it makes him an additional threat guy,
right?
Because this one makes a swarm, so it makes a pretty reasonably sized man.
So I would have actually probably not put it in front of the embodiment. Like I probably would have let my life go there, just in general. But
well, so he made a play that essentially said like this will trade with Rumble over 2 turns.
Right.
He hopes because it only takes one spell now for it to be big enough, like one spell next turn for it to be big enough to kill the Rumble. Not that actually kills the Rumble.
Looks like he was debating a level 2 turnabout play there.
Yeah. Which would have been okay. It just anytime you consider trading cards for Rumble Spark with Dark Heart in play, you just you want to go jump off a bridge. It just feels so bad.
It does.
Like
you got to get the Dark Heart off the board.
Right. Which, I mean, it's already kind of a priority to do so, but in this game it's interesting because we've seen just a million Dark Heart triggers from Sam.
Yeah.
But it's almost the life that he gained is almost more important than the damage he dealt to his opponent.
Especially because of the
way the burn deck works.
Burn deck works, yeah. The burn deck is really in trouble against a
because
dark
he's gained
heart.
like 8 life or something off that dark heart.
Right.
And all that does is extend the amount of time that he can leverage the rumble into value.
Right.
And his other plays have been very valuable too. It's not just the rumble, obviously, that does that. He got a couple cards out of the Runescarred Pit.
Right.
Got a couple cards out of the Chaining Guy. You know, it. Just like I said in round 1, this deck is really good.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Steve has played poorly or anything. Like, I think he's played fine. Just great deck and an incredible draw to hit that cycle 1, turn 2, both halves of the combo. Like, just that's tough to come back from.
I think it's tough to come back from
unless you
literally
have
like
a Botanimate or something.
We saw it happen for Sam in round 1 of the tournament, but he did it on the 3rd turn.
He never played the Darkheart though. I don't think in
round 1. You might be right on that. Yeah.
He played the Rumble and he did get it flipped off just regular combat damage.
That's right.
And then it got Chrissy was able to replace it with an Oak Father.
Right.
And it just wasn't.
So
part
you
of the
really
game,
are seeing the upper limit of this particular combination.
Yeah.
In this match. Like the only way it could be better is if you were on Forge, right?
So right now, he has the Rumble set aside. So I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. What that probably means. Oh, he's got a Conflagrate. So he's playing Conflagrate, 1 piece targeting Rumble.
He's got 2 mages in play. So
deciding on where the other parts go. But then the Rumble will come back. So one part of it's hitting Darkheart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so he did 5 and 5 there.
Yeah.
And triggered a Darkheart.
So he's gonna make another embodiment here. Trigger the Darkheart.
Yep. Yeah, that's just like. Okay, there's a Flame Jet. Triggers his own Darkheart.
Yep.
So this looks like a pretty good burn deck. Like
it does look like a very strong burn deck. Like I could see how this would give Sam trouble if he hadn't brought the Rumble Spark online as quickly as he did in this match.
Right.
Right. Like it
yeah,
could
like
be a
it's
very
almost
different
more
tale
about
of the tape.
It's almost more about the life gain from the Darkheart as like that's like usually the least meaningful part of the combo. It's just something that happens.
Right.
And you're like happy about it, but in this game state it seems like, you know, he's gained 10, 12 life now. Okay, here's a Nova, level 2.
Yeah, I mean
currently this Nova will do 4 damage, I believe. Or is it 1 per? I don't know what level 2 does. Let's see.
It's like I think it's
Is it
2 per mage, maybe?
No, 2 per elemental. So he has the Rage.
The Rageborn
and the Rumble Spark.
Rumble Spark, yeah. Big chainings Sentinel here.
Yep, that's a big boy.
That is one way to handle that Darkheart.
Yeah, that Darkheart's done his job, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's
this is
more than its value.
This is a Reckless Sentinel, so it has Breakthrough.
Okay.
And when it comes to play, it deals damage to one of your creatures, so he had to deal damage to itself. That's a pretty sweet...
I love that.
Sweet adjective on the Sentinel, actually, to give it Breakthrough.
Yeah.
Because it's always a ginormous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dreadbolt.
Dreadbolt.
Gonna Dreadbolt the Sentinel.
And he tapped his Nova to deal 4 to that spell sprite over there.
Yep.
No, he dealt 4 to the
other Darkheart. Yep.
Rumble powers up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a sweet game. I mean, power of Nova Elementalist.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch these two duke it out here because I think these two decks are very, very similar and very, very different. Even though they
That's a weird thing to say.
well, because they both have a plethora of spells, and they both
Right.
have Dark Heart Sorcerers, which is
right,
in
they
and
have
of
a
itself
similar
good
element,
engine, right?
but the the Dark Heart again in Steve's deck is part of the win condition, right? Like it's
Right.
just like a life total pressure machine. In Sam's deck, it operates differently, where it can do that, but it's it's there for the Nova mostly, because he only has like a reasonable number of spells in his deck. He has 6 spells, so like a normal amount, not the
Right.
the 9 that Steve has.
Right. Yeah. Steve's deck is obviously much more spell heavy than Sam's is.
That red half is crazy. The red half in Steve's deck is crazy. It's super good.
Yeah, so we got
Just in the
Steve
tank, a little
here.
bit here. I mean, that's understandable playing that deck. Like, the sequencing is probably very difficult in some hands because you want to maximize the number of triggers you get off your spells, and he has
Well, and right now,
like 4+ free spells in his deck.
right now Sam is threatening lethal, right? Like, so you've got to be able to put enough board presence out to stop the lethal attacks from occurring. Flame Sculptor Seal pushing even more off that Dark Heart.
Dark Heart trigger, Rumble trigger.
Yeah,
That was like, okay, so he's got the Nova Elementals to finish off the Dark Heart. That's pretty big. Like all of a sudden his big long chains of spells or whatever are not gonna change the life total. I mean they might be burn spells, but they're not gonna significantly increase his ability not to die to these guys.
And the real problem you have is, like, his real outs are Conflagrate and it looks like we're getting a scoop.
Looks like
maybe.
the concede there.
Yeah.
I respect it. Like, he was lethal in many ways.
Right.
So
great game from Sam. 2-0 for Sam.
we're just gonna watch Sam all
All day,
day
it looks
because now
like,
he'll be at table 1 again, I'm sure.
Yep.
But
but great game from Steve here. I think his deck is very, very good.
it looks really good.
And I think it's got a real opportunity to be
It's a little
contender.
soft to rumble Dark Heart, unless especially when it's online immediately in the game.
Right.
Because the burn decks can go under that stuff. I saw it happen in Indy.
Yep.
I
do think that if any one piece of the Rumble Heart, the Rumble Dark Heart, I'm going to call it Rumble Heart from here on out. I think it's a good name for it. If any part of the Rumble Heart doesn't come online in Cycle 1 for Sam here, I think this is a potentially very different game. And I do think it's potentially...
there are definitely draws in this game that in Sam's deck that would have a hard time with the burn deck. This was not one of them.
Correct. All right, that'll wrap up round 2 coverage. We'll be back with round 3 shortly. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.